In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 altcoins that have some pretty interesting trading patterns and some potential upside and some downside on the near future for both buying and selling and actively trading. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all of that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at what is going on here with these 3 altcoins. Okay guys, we're going to start things off with one of my personal favorites. This is one that I do not get to actually talk about all too often, and that is Chainlink. Now Chainlink has a few interesting things that are going on with it that is basically allowing me to dollar cost average and accumulate during this particular downtrend that we're in, but also has some pretty interesting opportunities for some active trading as well if that is your bag. If you're looking for some opportunity in terms of potential upsides, I'm going to go through what I would be looking at here inside the charts. Obviously, I'm not offering you financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I cannot do that. But what I can do is take a look at the charts and kind of give you my thoughts and opinions on what is going to happen next. And, at least what I think is the most probable outcome with these particular patterns. So here in Chainlink, I only want to highlight a couple of things that are really interesting to me. So specifically talking about this hourly chart for now. And we can see here we've been quite volatile in this kind of sideways trading pattern that we've been having here. But ultimately what I'm seeing here is a big A wave up, a B wave that came down, and now we have a C wave moving on up. Now, this hasn't been invalidated yet in sense of, hasn't been validated yet, not until we move past this $16.79 area. I'm just going to quickly mark that up as a yellow line just here. So we have an idea of where things are likely to go. If for this to be invalidated, not to actually move on up, we'd have to go down lower than our originating point. And I'll quickly go ahead and throw on a yellow line down here as well. That would be $13.50. Now, I think we're actually more than likely going to see this one through. So we've got a little bit of upside still to happen here with Chainlink. Now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Fibonacci retracement measurement of the entire A wave here, and then I'm going to transpose it over to the B wave low. Again, you can see that just moving just there, and then this gives us our target for our C wave. Okay, so on the kind of smaller time frame here, this is where we're looking to push up with Chainlink. This takes us to about $17.76. Okay, if we actually go up past $19.29, it's gone impulsive to the upside, and this actually needs to be a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3 up, a wave 4, and then a 5th wave up. Okay, so we're monitoring that situation for some potential opportunities to buy in the 4th wave. Otherwise, right now we're looking to ride out that little bit extra to the upside, and then obviously look for the down trend and accumulate more link at the very, very bottom, right? So when we come back into the chart here, we can obviously see that there's an ABC motion to the upside. Good target to be had. This will more than likely, come in here and then get the reversal to the downside, and that's the accumulation point, ready for the reversal and continuation, and to kind of keep scraping the profits here in this downtrend. Now, obviously, if we do go impulsive, we have some interesting targets that we want to be looking for, but we can't measure that until the wave 4 kind of comes in, and we start to see a bottom for that wave 4 area. Now, here on the stochastic RSI, you can see that we're heavily oversold. So this next leg for Chainlink up to $17.76 seems to be pretty easy for it to achieve. It wouldn't take too much to kind of see that one through, and that's courtesy of BTC. So ultimately right now this is actually looking pretty good. But as we zoom on out here, guys, and I'll zoom out a little bit on this hourly chart so you can see, we are still actually tracking this bigger ABC move to the downside. Okay, and for this invalidation to really occur, we want to be moving up significantly higher. Therefore, actually this being our low point. The C wave low does look like $11.42. So we are monitoring this situation, and you can argue that we've actually gone higher than our A wave already, and that's actually a pretty good sign. But for now, I'm going to be really super cautious about this, considering the amount of volatility that we do have with things like Bitcoin, for example. We want to make sure that we are, really cautious. We don't want to just unnecessarily throw money at certain coins. But I am actively accumulating Chainlink, and there's been some fantastic opportunities to do so far. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why. So as we come into here, we obviously can see that there's potential downtrend, but we're hoping actually it doesn't come in. But if it does, that's going to be a fantastic accumulation point. But as we come on out of here, we're going to just shoot on over into our daily view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you some of the fantastic things that goes on here with Link, right? So we can see that Chainlink actually suffers quite a bit with some major pullbacks. Let me just go ahead and grab hold of my price range here. So for example, here we can see that we fell down 63% just here. If we actually take a look from that high point up the top there, that's 50% pullback. We had a 40% fallback. We've had a reasonable amount of 35 there. Over here, we've pulled back quite a bit as well. And again, the point of what I'm trying to make here is that's a 72% pullback. Chainlink seems to have pretty heavy pullbacks, right? And it actually makes a lot of sense when we start thinking about why Chainlink would have such significant, kind of pullbacks that we've seen so far. And that's pretty much because of utility. Chainlink, as those transactions increase in terms of price feeds for DeFi, etc., the price goes up. And as obviously those transactions decrease, maybe you're feeling bearish and there's not as much kind of activity going on with DeFi or whatever, then you're going to start to see Chainlink perform badly or to kind of pull back. And that's in itself the opportunity. So as we think about all of these pullbacks and what happened afterwards, 72, 71%, 60%. And right here within this move, what we have actually, let me grab the price movement for Chainlink. We actually see this thing, pulling back 53%. Okay, so obviously if we pull all the way down into that low range of $11, let me actually grab my price range here. Let me grab the price range. Oh, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those days. As we grab that price range and we pull that down, we can see that's another 60% move, right? So pretty good kind of, area for Chainlink to kind of think about accumulation, because what happens on the flip of that, once you kind of find these bottom areas, is you start to see it also perform incredibly well with 172% there, or from this particular move that we've just had is an 86% move, right? So just like we have very, very deep pullbacks with Chainlink, you also see massive spikes to the upside, and that's a massive opportunity. So this one is definitely my first altcoin I wanted to kind of flag to you guys. If you're not aware, Chainlink is incredibly volatile, but it's incredibly profitable as well if you know where to be buying and where to be selling. So that was altcoin number one. The second altcoin, guys, that I want to kind of go through with you guys, it's one that we talk about a fair amount, and that is going to be Harmony One. Harmony One, I think, is going to be a pretty good performer in the market. It has pulled back quite significantly, in comparison to where it was previously. Now, obviously, it's been on quite the run in this particular bull cycle. But we can obviously analyze, what's going on. I've actually cleaned out the chart here because it was getting very, very crowded. But let's actually jump on down into the hourly view and actually review what's going on here and now, right, in terms of these movements. Now, we actually can see here that we had this A, B, C to the downside, okay? And this is actually probably going to be frustrating if you're familiar with the videos, but bear with me one moment while I just redraw out some of these recent wave counts, and then we can actually get into the opportunity at hand. So as we get into this, what we're going to do is we're going to basically just mark up the A wave down, the B wave, the C wave that's actually shallow in relation to that A wave, and then we start to see good traction to the upside, an A wave up. We obviously see this come back down quite significantly, and we can actually argue that there's a small ABC to the upside just inside here, and there's multiple different ways that we can count this. Okay, we have A, we have B, we have C, again overwicking, but then getting invalidated. So although looked impulsive, wasn't impulsive. And again, then we come back down here. We have an A, we have a B, and we have our C wave. Very, very shallow, and then we're looking for progression to the upside. Now, for Harmony One, what's really encouraging about all of this is we don't have to really worry too much about all of these waves that we've just marked up, because you could argue that you can count this very differently. You can count this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and it gets us right into the same position, right? So what we do have, though, is this really clear, definitive run to the upside. Okay, we have a stochastic RSI that was overbought for pretty much the majority of it, so this actually took us by surprise with this kind of momentum, but Harmony One's doing a lot of fantastic things in the space. We're currently pulling back, this being our B wave, and now we're looking for that C wave higher. So effectively, on the kind of bigger scale here with Harmony, we have an A wave, we have a B wave. We don't know if that's the low point just yet. It's incredibly shallow though. And then we'll be looking for that C wave. Okay, now taking a look at the stochastic RSI that's rapidly gone from overbought to oversold. And this is looking like a really good progression to the upside that is going to be had here. So as we think about measuring out our A wave just now, and we're transposing this over to the current low that we have for a B wave, this actually shows Harmony 1 moving out there towards 21 cent. Again, this is actually in contrast to some of the things that have been going on recently, potentially taking us right back up into this double top area. This is where we're likely to find reversal. So I'm going to quickly just throw that on there, and you can see that these two things are resonating incredibly well together. Effectively, this high point and this high point that's yet to come, potentially creating a bit of a bear flag where we see this thing going down again. So again, what we're talking about here is short-term plays that might actually see us with some pretty good percentage gains to be made if you know where to buy and where to sell. So when we come back into the chart here, and I just tidy this up a little bit, and we think about what percentage gains could be made from the current price at the point of recording the video, it's a 12% profit margin here on that rise up to the upside before potentially thinking about going down. Of course, it is also very possible that we go ahead and smash straight. Actually, grab the right thing. My mouse doesn't want to play games today. Obviously, as we think about pushing up past this area, we don't get the bear flag. Instead, we have that continuation. If we go past 22 cent, effectively, this is now 1, 2, 3. With a fourth wave pullback and a fifth wave still to come. So again, additional opportunity. So when it comes to kind of managing risk and all of that kind of good stuff, we want to be potentially exiting out around the target zone here. Okay. And if we happen to, continue going up, we then potentially can buy back in on the fourth wave, which will be retesting of this area. Okay. So hypothetically, we would push up, go impulsive, pull back down, test this previous area that was resistance to support, that being wave 4, and then we buy back in and we take it into that fifth wave, and then we exit for a bigger ABC move down. Okay, so there's trading opportunities to be had here when it comes to Harmony 1. So that basically makes my second altcoin. It's an interesting project that has so much fundamentally going on with it, but also has some fantastic opportunities during this kind of bearish phase that we seem to be in, although we are not thinking it is a bear market. In fact, everything seems to be finding its kind of bottom right now. A little bit more downside still to come, but that doesn't mean you cannot take advantage of the price movements that are currently out there. Right, that takes us into our third coin. The third project, guys, is an unusual one. This is going to be one that I am heavily invested in, as you guys know, but not one that I actually talk about all too often, mainly because it's incredibly volatile and it doesn't really get a lot of kind of press out there. But there is 𝗖𝗨. Now, 𝗖𝗨 has been making moves recently with a nice kind of push to the upside. Took a few people off guard a little bit, but it hasn't, done anything too crazy out of the ordinary. It's pretty much standard kind of business stuff going on here in terms of the price movements. Now, obviously, we had that huge spike up here, kind of really early on, and then obviously we pulled back down right back into our buy zone. This yellow box area, guys, for anyone who is new, this is where we've been accumulating, 𝗖𝗨. We can see here that we came into this area very little, as small opportunities to buy up at this particular point. Then we crashed into it, right? And this has presented itself with some fantastic opportunities. And obviously here we can see that we had some pretty good traction. Now, this is an incredibly volatile cryptocurrency, and there is no way to kind of shy away from that. It is incredibly volatile because it is a micro cap coin. There isn't a lot of money in this project, so therefore a small amount of money can move the needle massively to the upside, but also massively to the downside. Okay, so expect volatility if this is a project that you're interested in or are invested in. You're going to have volatility. Now, in terms of the price movements, what do we have here? Well, it's quite an obvious one, but I do want to kind of pull it out for you guys because it's reaching the end of its life cycle and this current wave count, that being effectively an ABC. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to effectively measure this distance like we have done previously, and we're going to just transpose this over to that B wave low, and here we can see that we've gone up just short of the 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so with our stochastic RSI being where it is, it's a good point to really start thinking about maybe wanting to trade out of this position, wait for it to retrace and accumulate more if that is the kind of thing that you want to do. Obviously, for me personally, I kind of hodl. I have my targets, they're set, and I sell at those key targets. I don't actively trade it, but there are ways to accumulate more of a cryptocurrency by being more active in the trading aspect of it. With Silo here, it's reaching the end of its kind of push to the upside. I do not see this one potentially going impulsive. That would be a pretty big step for it right now, and I do actually see this one having an ABC correction of sorts, which means you could potentially accumulate more Silo for its next step to the upside in the near future. So guys, those are the 3 different cryptocurrencies I really wanted to kind of point out to you guys that have some fantastic opportunities on the shorter time frames as well as the longer term views that we often talk about. If you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you are going to be kept up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.